Hello team, welcome back to my next presentation, stroke podcast, stroke video. I'm Swift Lahiric, Cyber Brahmin, and in this presentation we'll be having an introduction to GDPR and what exactly it is. Okay team, let's move on swiftly. Right team, what is GDPR? So GDPR is a comprehensive data protection framework that aims to ensure the privacy and the security of personal data of EU citizens. Okay, when we're talking about personal data, we're talking about name, date of birth, address, occupation, and other possible passport number, national insurance number, things which are sensitive data should be protected under GDPR. This also includes financial data such as bank transactions and bank account numbers and so on. Okay, so what are the key principles of GDPR? First and foremost, data minimization. So the objective of data minimization is to collect and process the minimum amount of personal data necessary for a specific purpose. So a company can, or an organization can benefit from this by having the minimum amount of data. It means less data that they are liable for later on. So they've got a small amount of data, they use it for a specific purpose, and then ideally they should erase that data. Right, secondly, lawfulness, fairness and transparency. So during the process of personal data, the data should be processed lawfully and fairly, and it should be transparent about how the data has been processed. Okay, so there should be transparency in how it's being processed. Thirdly is data accuracy. So the objective of data accuracy is to keep personal data accurate and up to date to ensure its relevance and its integrity. Okay, remember integrity is the middle character in the CIA triangle. So integrity of data. Okay, excellent. Now team, what are your rights as an individual under GDPR? So there are 8 rights in particular, but I'm going to just focus on 3 of them for now. Okay, the first one here is right to access. So as an citizen of the EU or an individual of the European Union under GDPR, you have right to access your data. So you have the right to request and access your personal data which is held by organizations. Right number 2 is right to erasure. So this is also known as the right to be forgotten. So individuals can request the deletion of their personal data under certain circumstances. Okay, so the data can be erased under certain circumstances. Thirdly, right to data portability. So here an individual can request that their personal data be transmitted to another organization in a commonly used format. Okay, so you do have the right to data portability as well. Okay team, before we move on, let's do a quick test your knowledge exercise. So which of the following is not one of the key principles of GDPR? So is it data minimization? 2, lawfulness, fairness and transparency. 3, data accuracy. Or 4, eating pizza. So I think the answer is pretty straightforward here team. It's going to be number 4. Eating pizza is definitely not one of the key principles of GDPR. Okay, second quiz. Which of the following is not covered under the rights of individuals under GDPR? Okay, so what have we got here? We have got the right to access, we have the right to erasure, right to data portability, or the right to order food online. So which of these is not covered under the rights of individuals under GDPR? So it's definitely not the first one, it is definitely not the second one, it's definitely the... So the answer here is actually the third one. Okay, the right to order food online, because the right to order food online has nothing to do with the rights of individuals under GDPR. However, under GDPR, individuals have right to access, right to erasure, and the right to data portability. Okay, excellent. Let's move on. Right, responsibilities for data controllers and processors. Okay, so within an organization, there will be 3 types of role which are available. So there are data controllers, data processors, and the data protection officer. So the role of the data controller, number 1, is to determine the purpose and the means of processing personal data. Number 2, data processors. So the objective or the job of the data processor is to handle and process the personal data on behalf of the data controller. Okay, so they process the data. They are not the controller of the data, they are the processor of the data. And thirdly is the data protection officer. So an organization, all organizations are required to appoint a data protection officer or a DPO to work in compliance with GDPR. Okay, so any organization which is processing data must have a data protection officer. All right, perfect. Now let's think about how, as an organization, what steps can be taken to achieve GDPR compliance. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is assess what data processing activities you have. For example, identify and document all the data processing activities within your organization. What kind of data are you holding? So are you holding employee data? Are you holding client data? Are you holding in-house staff data? Are you holding third-party vendor data? So start thinking about all of these things, what data you have and where it is actually being stored. Is it on the local server? Is it on the cloud? Is it on a thumb drive somewhere which is being carried around on the lanyard? Secondly, educate staff. So by providing GDPR awareness training to employees involved in processing personal data, what you're doing is also creating a security aware culture within the organization. The staff are understanding now the importance of data protection and cybersecurity. This then actually links in with the third one, which is implementation of security measures. So by ensuring the appropriate technical and organizational measures, policies and procedures are in place, an organization can actually go on to protect personal data. And this is where the ISO 27001 family of framework falls in, but we'll be discussing that in the next presentation. Okay, so team, just a quick test your knowledge. What are the 3 steps outlined in the previous slide to help achieve GDPR, team? So do you remember? Did anyone write it down in their notepad? So what are the 3 steps in the previous slide that can help to achieve GDPR? Okay, perfect. Right. The impact of GDPR on businesses. So, how can GDPR beneficially impact upon an organization or a business? Well, the first thing that it does, it enables enhanced data protection. So what GDPR will do is it will improve the data protection practices and start implementing safeguards, and also safeguards individuals' personal data. Okay, so we're talking about protecting personal data. Secondly, it gives increased accountability. So organizations are accountable for how their data processing activities are conducted, and they must demonstrate compliance at every stage with GDPR. Third benefit is consumer trust. So by prioritizing privacy, GDPR cultivates trust between businesses and individuals, because individuals are confident that the organization is actually taking their data privacy seriously. Right, team, so let's conclude now. GDPR is a crucial regulation that empowers individuals and sets high standards for data protection. By complying with GDPR, organizations are not only fulfilling a legal requirement, but it also gives them the opportunity to strengthen trust with their customers and also to protect the right of their customers. Okay, team. Last assessment. Which of the following statements is true? So have a look. GDPR improves the data protection practices and safeguards of individuals' data. 2, organizations are accountable for data processing activities and must demonstrate compliance. 3, by prioritizing privacy, GDPR fosters trust between businesses and individuals. 4, all of the above. So team, the answer is pretty straightforward here. It would be all of the above. 1, 2, and 3 are the right answer. Okay, team, thank you very much for joining me on this video. I'll see you on the next session. If you did like this, please give me a like and a subscribe. It would help the channel loads. Thank you very much and have a good day.